My child is 13. Are they old enough to make a decision on which parent they want to live with? Hey, everybody. Lisa Knox here, owner and founder of Knox Law Mediation, where I practice family law here in the great state of Florida in sunshiny Tampa Bay. So we have been continuing and doing a series more so on old wives' tales or MythBusters. And so I want to sort of continue that trend. I got a great question. I want to bring it up because I'm sure everyone has heard something similar, maybe either the question itself or something similar, like a similar derivative. And so the question is, now keep in mind, this is only for the state of Florida, okay? I am not talking about North Carolina or California or New York. So if you live in some other state other than Florida, this is for entertainment purposes only. If you live in the state of Florida, this is for educational purposes only, okay? But I did want to talk with you about one of the myths that I heard. Understand that your situation may be unique, okay? The myth is where I've had people ask me, Lisa, my child is 13. Are they old enough to make a decision on which parent they want to live with? That's a common myth. Like, for some reason, everyone believes that if the child is of a certain age, they can make a decision on whether or not they want to live with mom or dad or first parent or second parent, all of these different things. And so the broad answer is it depends, okay? Here's the thing. It depends. It depends on really what the judge decides to allow and how much weight the judge gives to the child's testimony, if there's a testimony given, okay? Here's what I mean by that. So when a court is looking at the factors to determine, what's in the best interest of the child, about where the child should live with, which parent the child should live with, who should have what we call majority time sharing, or who has the child the majority of times, the primary home is how I guess we would put it. When the court looks at that, keep in mind that the court is weighing so many different factors. And one of those factors is, what the child, the relationship with the child and so forth, and maybe the child's wants or desires and so forth. Now, keep in mind, that does not mean that the child makes the final decision. So there's the clarification in it. But it could be something that the court weighs. However, let's think about how that works, right? How does the court know who, the child wants to live with? The court would literally have to have a conversation with the child. And that means that the child would have to go before the judge, and either in the judge's, chambers, which is, the judge's personal office space, I guess, or in the courtroom, right? Which is really harsh. Go in the courtroom in front of everyone and say, hey, I'd rather live with this parent instead of living with that parent. And here's the reason why. Essentially, you're making the child choose between parents. And I don't see that being a benefit or being anything good unless it's where the child doesn't feel safe with one parent over another parent. If that's the case, that makes sense. But if not, then literally what you're doing is you're having the child choose one parent or the other. And that's like having the child choose one half of themselves or the other. That's a really tough situation to be in. I mean, most people have a whole, hard time making a decision on whether they're going to have sausage patties or bacon for their breakfast. Much less am I going to live with one parent or the other, okay? Keep in mind, too, that in the state of Florida, that's just one of many factors that a judge can look at. So even if a child says, well, no, I prefer to live with my dad instead of living with my mom, the judge could look at all the other factors and say, I still find it in the best interest for this child to live with mom, or vice versa. I've seen it happen many times. In the same instance, I've seen where judges, for the most part, prefer not to even involve the children in the litigation. A lot of judges, majority of judges, prefer for the children not to testify, not to make any decisions one way or the other, because children are young and impressionable and fickle, and they change their minds sometimes. And oftentimes with these orders, especially final judgments and so forth, they're not so easily changed. So there's that. Also, children oftentimes really benefit from spending as much time as possible with both parents. Parents can be horrible lovers, horrible, spouses, horrible significant others to each other, and still be amazing parents to the kids, even if they don't parent in the same way. So, circling it all back, Lisa, how old does my child have to be before they can say, hey, I want to live with one parent or the other? It depends on your child. It depends on your child. More than likely, the child needs to be at least 12 years or older, but some children are precocious. My 7-year-old was precocious as all get out. So it just really depends on the child. But to be very clear, legally, a child cannot make any final decisions on where they want to stay. They don't have a choice per se. They can't tell the court, I choose to live with this parent, and so that's what I'm going to do. The courts will make the final decision. The children definitely can't tell the parents one way or the other what they're going to do until they're of the age of 18 or older. So that's something to consider. Also, side note, if you are under the belief that your child may be allowed to speak with the court, it would be best for you not to prepare your child to speak ill or speak nasty of the other parent, especially untruthfully. I'm telling you that because that's going to be a topic coming up. That's one of the questions that we did receive. Can I tell my kid what to say, or can I sort of coach my kid? And the rough answer is, please don't. Please don't. But we're going to get into the details of it. So with that being said, there's another MythBuster, another myth that has been busted. All right. If you have questions, concerns, ideas, maybe if you need more information on this topic, please feel free to reach out to an attorney. If you don't have an attorney that you'd like to reach out to, you can feel free to reach out to us. Call us at 813-447-3001. That's 813-447-3001. Always make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment for us, okay? I promise you, I do read them. I will respond, all right? Until we meet again, Lisa Knox with Knox Law Mediation. Y'all take care of yourselves and be safe, okay?